So, I don't know where I'm gonna start, but I am. I'm gonna start making videos. For young men to listen to and to share what I've been through, and if it helps one guy get through his young adult career or inspire somebody to go on to do something decent, then that's all. Um, Starting over from rock bottom, I think, is the where I'm trying to come from. But, I'll just talk to my phone, and this is the format I'm gonna make these videos with. If I continue to make them, and if people reach out or lock into them, helps one person. I started over a lot. First time I had to start over, I was 8. My dad handed me 8x10 box. Said, put what you can in it. Figure out what you care about and what you don't. And when I was 08, when we lost, I gave my cat away. I was the one that handed my cat Jupiter over. Think that shit was easy at 8 years old? Oh, it crushed me. It destroyed me. That cat's probably still alive, kicking it around. But where? I wouldn't know. That's why I squeeze the stress ball. Feel it here. And, started having to pack up all our stuff and start over from scratch. Even had to give my cat away. Jupiter was an asshole, but he was my asshole. I like that fucking guy. He was a mean, rude cuss, but he didn't treat any of the birds or the field mice or rabbits, nobody, nothing differently. He'd smack a pit bull across the mouth. Pit bulls didn't like him. He was a junkyard hound as far as cats go. He was pretty much virtually feral. He was a wildcat. But he knew where his home was. He knew where his people were. And starting over. Back to packing up. I stormed off because I couldn't fit my guitar into that box that my dad handed me. It was too small. And there was a couple too many things for me to be able to. And he wasn't going to let me take my guitar. I said, fuck you. I'm leaving then. I'm going this way and you guys can go that way. Eat a dick. Fuck you. Here I am still playing guitar. See those things? Here I am still doing it. Because I got to bring it to Florida. You know? My first one. I don't have that one anymore. I smashed it over somebody's face at some point. I don't even remember how. Whether it was a bonfire or a bar fight. I don't fucking know. I don't really care to know anymore. All I know is here I am. Still doing it. With a Terminator shoulder. And look at this crap. Look at it. They did medical studies on this. They recorded this surgery. They let students in who are studying to be surgeons and doctors and stuff, and nurses, to see this happen and what the results were going to be. I was told I'll never have a right arm again. Ever. Make my peace with that. That was that was when this happened. And then I got hit by a car and it crunched everything back in place. I got arrested. Beat the shit out of fucking, I don't know, it's just beat the shit out of like two or three hospital security guards, and then there were insubordinate white suit guys, like the guys that stand outside of your room in the white suits. And I was in restraints, and don't believe me? Look at the scars. Look at the scars. Walked the walk, spun the block, been there, done it, did it, said it, had it, left it, started over. Done it too many fucking times. I want to start over. Not one more time. Not two more times. Not once. Sick of that shit. Compartmentalizing everything I have into like one or two boxes. That's all I get to take with me. So fuck you. I can't even bring my guitar with me. Give my cats away. Leave everything I actually like genuinely care about behind. Nothing in those boxes actually mattered to me. Nothing. None of it. Minus like about 5 things. One of those things that really mattered to me, my guitar that I had at the time. That's why I do this shit. Not for the glory, not for the fame. So let me get back on the skateboard. I can eventually manage it and not do more damage to myself than I already have. I'm gonna take some hard biffs. I'm gonna get right back up. And guess what? I'm gonna go for it. Once again. Just like I always have, because, they call me Spring Roll. Spring rolls. How spring rolls. So I got it. Through discipline, patience, and the way I've built my mindset over time. May not look like the biggest and baddest motherfucker around town, but you got a war on your hands if you pick a fight with me. I'll beat the shit. I'll throw hands at anybody. I don't care how big and bad and tough you think you are. And that's not me like trying to talk shit to anybody or talk crap or play big and bad or cock off or anything like that. Here's my white flag. So I fucking haven't shaved in 2 months and got this shit going on. So every time I even take a sip of goddamn water, I gotta wipe my mustache off. Right? That white flag moment. I'll just chalk it up to that. But the last guy I punched in the face, like genuinely hard, bad. The results were really bad. The aftermath was really bad. I regret doing that to him. I should not have did that. I didn't recognize my own strength. I didn't know it. I was just a young, dumb fucking kid at the time. And you know what? The aftermath, I could have easily wound up being stuck in prison right now for doing like 25 to life. If it wasn't for the camera footage and me reaching out for his shirt and grabbing him so he wouldn't bang his head so hard after I punched him, instead of just walking away after punching him outside of that bar that night, I'd be doing life in prison. I was a scared, wigged out kid, 18 and a half years old, facing fucking 25 to life. Like a second degree homicide charge. And, I had some money saved up, thankfully. At the time. And I had some, some coffee cans full of cash, pay for the lawyers, get me out of the jam. But at least try to push it to trial to buy time so I can figure out the fuck the hell I'm gonna do. But I was 18 and a half years old. And I didn't mean to do that to him. I didn't mean to hit him that hard. And it was just a stupid fucking iffy wiffy. Like, it wasn't, we had different opinions, different mindsets, and butted heads, and what happened in the parking lot happened. But it wasn't that I wanted to freak out on him or fuck him up to that point to where he cracked his head open. And then, So I was dealing with that. And I turned 19, and a good guy knew Tennyson T. I'm just gonna keep calling him T. Rest in peace, motherfucker. He was struggling at the time, going through some mental health shit. He was trying to get custody of his kids back so he could go back to Sarasota, Florida. It's kind of close to Tampa Bay, which is kind of close to Wesley Chapel, which is, kind of close to where I lived when I lived out there. I only lived out there during the same time, and I'm pretty sure I skateboarded with him at one point before we crossed paths up here. But he thought he was going to get his kids back, and he relapsed really bad off of heroin. He had his kids taken away from him because he was a heroin addict. He was a junkie, and I don't know what happened as far as first go around goes, because I wasn't there to see it or witness, so I'm not going to speak on it, but I just know at some point he got his kids taken away, and that's why he came up to Michigan. He really thought he was going to get his kids back, and the judge said, no, you ain't going to never see your kids again. But the week leading up to it, he wouldn't shut up about it. He kept talking and rambling. I'm like, I really hope, I pray to God you get back there, back to home, whatever that means to you. And then he found out he didn't get to go home. Judge told him, no, won't ever see those fucking kids again. Won't ever hold them. Won't ever see them. None of that. And it destroyed him. And then he destroyed himself. And I watched that firsthand. And we were all kind of a little worried about him. And, had some genuine concerns, and we're trying to assess. And we decided it was best to just make sure he wasn't alone. For too long, at least. Somebody to just good hands be in. Somebody he knows that he can trust, and that isn't gonna wig him out. Because the guys I know, we wig out because of stuff like this. And he got in a mood all of a sudden. Like, we were just playing Mortal Kombat on the Xbox or the PS4 or whatever. And all of a sudden he just got in a mood, and he was like, y'all need to leave. And like, okay. And this was like 2:30 in the morning. I'm like, yo, we're gonna be back at 7 o'clock to pick you up. We're gonna go get breakfast at Pinky Diner. And if you don't wake up, we're gonna fucking kick your door in. We're gonna wake you up. So better leave that door unlocked. Yeah, or the back door. you know. Front door wound up being unlocked. Front door was never unlocked. But we had house keys. We had keys to that locks. Keys to those locks. And as soon as we realized the front door was unlocked, I told Alex, I was like, stay out here. Hold. Halt. Tennyson. If you go into that apartment in Orchard Glen, no. There's a dent where he hit his fucking head and cracked his skull open. On the tile. There's cracks on the tile and broken tiles right where he fell. You found him with a needle sticking out from here, full of who the fuck knows. After he took some methadone, maybe tried Narcan himself, but ultimately they ruled it as a heart attack. But I saw what happened. I held that man while he gurgled and died, while I tried to put his fucking brain, the back of his head, back into place while crushing his rib cage, doing CPR, trying to fucking get him to fucking get to breathe normal again and doing sternum rubs. I broke that man's rib cage trying to save him. I held him. I just knew. He ain't coming. He ain't coming back. That's when I learned to make my peace with starting over. That was kind of how I learned. Because after that shit, it affects me to this day. Very deeply. Within the bottom of my gut, bottom of my heart, everything I have. He was a good carpenter. Taught me a lot of things. Important things. Not just about what makes a good carpenter or a hack, but it's what it means to be a man. What it means to have to start over. How it feels. How much shit you go through. And then sometimes that's reality you gotta face. And I guess it's okay starting over. I guess with him, starting over was too hard. Too difficult. Too much for him to face. That reality of you'll never see your kids again. Never hold them. Never touch them. Never be within finger touch of them. That was too much for him. That was too much reality for him to grasp. So he killed himself over it. He destroyed himself. Same with Doug. Dougie got sick. He got really sick and he hid it. He buried it. You know, he buried it and hid it from everybody. And the only person who knew was me. He got sick. And he hid it because he didn't want people, because he was doing the Dougie Swisher. You know, smoky, sour, Swisher sweet. Left or right, doing his shuffle. He just wanted to have a couple at slash before he went on. He knew he was going to go. You know what's funny? He'd still be here if we would have brought him some beers. Instead of getting him into the back of that ambulance. He would. I know that. Anywho, I'm out of cigarettes. I gotta fucking put pants and a shirt on and fucking fuck this. But starting over is never easy. It's always hard. And I'm at that point where I haven't just started over. I'm crawling out of rock bottom, and then from there, once I get to some level ground, I might be able to start over. That's where I'm at. If I'm lucky, I get a second chance. If I'm lucky, I get the nice girl and some peace. Good night of sleep. Good dreams. No nightmares. All that shit. Because I had it all at one point. When I was like 21, 22, 23. Looked at me. I had everything a guy my age would have wanted. Everything. I had a nice truck. Was making good money. I had a solid steady income. Wicked hot. Beautiful girl. That was willing to walk to the edge of the universe for me. And somehow I fumbled that and fucked it up. I don't know how I did it, how I managed it, but I did it some way, somehow. And yeah. So, I guess I'm just gonna go boot up my laptop, play a game of StarCraft. Go buy it after I buy a pack of cigarettes, and fuck it. This helps one guy, one person. Not even a guy, man or a woman, just one person. Just one person, if it helps. You, I succeeded in my heart. I hope it helps. Jumbo.